signing this summer is that Mason can't even lay one block at work. Greenwood, he's gone. All right, cool. There's more here.
Mason Mount, he means.
And this deal we said you should keep an eye on. It's finally happened, confirmed. Rob Holding. And this is interesting from Karim, social media guy. He says Rob Holding will now hold the back for Jordan Ayew to score more goals at Crystal Palace. So Rob Holding has completed his move from Arsenal to Crystal Palace. And a Liverpool fan, Kwabena Kweku, says the Premier League is not ready, and he's had a picture of Gravenberch. That's where I want to bring you guys.
Yeah, but before we do that, I'm told that Oscar Nuati is on Zoom as well.
Oscar is an agent.
He's an agent, yes. Oscar.
In fact, Grady Adams' agent.
Yeah. Oscar, hi. Good evening. And thank you for joining us on Deadline Day. We have just about 22 minutes.
How you doing?
Yeah, we are doing well. Thank you so much for staying with us. We know how long you've stayed with us as well. I mean, the window is shut in Europe, but we have till the 8th of September for the GPL transfer window to shut as well. We've gone through Hearts, Kotoko. We saw you in a picture with a player signed. When was that picture taken, Oscar?
I think the very first day it came out was the day we...
Some network will show you.
Some network will show you, Pepe. Anyway, once we wait for him. Gravenberch, what does he bring to the table?
It's a marriage of convenience for both parties.
Wow.
Because at Bayern, his stocks had fallen so low that they started blaming him for goals the team were conceding. Case in point, that Victoria Pleasant Champions League game last season when he came on Bayern conceded twice. And so the hierarchy no longer rates him. Successive managers, which is rare that you would have Nagelsmann not rate him and then Thomas Tuchel who comes in and essentially even doubles down and says, this guy has got to go.
Charlie.
So Bayern needed a destination for him, and they needed a club to pay the right price. It just so happens that Liverpool also needed a holding midfielder or a central midfielder of any kind.
I was going to ask that. Is he really a holding midfielder?
I don't think so.
Which is what Liverpool need.
Yes.
Because they have enough number 8.
Yes.
Szoboszlai, McAllister.
So here's
they need a proper DM.
You know, it is one of those transfers where I wanted to give the manager the benefit of the doubt. But we did that for Eric Ten Hag and Mason Mount. We did that for Mikel Arteta and then Kai Havertz. It's not looking good. Normally, you would want to assume that these managers make these calls with clarity of thought in terms of the job description of the players and what value they can add to the player in the interim, not long term, because it has to work now. Those are areas where the team needs reinforcement.
It's a weakness.
Liverpool. So unless Klopp is going to work some magic, either through the structure, to get the team to play in a manner that makes him look functional without creating problems for the balance of the team, or he's going to coach him to play the way he wants and the way a holding midfielder like Fabinho did in his prime. Otherwise, Liverpool are in trouble. Because there's no skirting around.
Doesn't this smell more or less like the Arthur deal to you?
Arthur Melo.
Yes.
So because there's no, it is not as if it's an attacking rule where if Darwin Núñez does not hit the ground running as it happened in his first season, Mo Salah can build a team. But even with that, we saw that the decline was too much for Salah alone to rescue the team.
Yeah.
How much more a holding midfield position? So he either has got to have a magic wand, a magic trick, or there's no skirting around this.
Liverpool have struggled with this position even from last season when Fabinho was around. You could tell his legs were tired. Then he leaves. They tried to go for Lavia and then Caicedo. It didn't work out. They settled with Endo because Endo is not up to that standard. And one would have thought they'll go out. He's 30. One would have thought they'll go out and get a specialist. But Gravenberch is not that. There are aspects of his game that can a makeshift in that position, but for a sustained period of time, you don't want him in that position. His defensive instinct is not the best, so then he always has that tendency to want to move forward, and that is not somebody you can trust in a number 6 role. So for me, it's a very funny transfer considering they went out and they got 2 specialists in the number 8 position, and then now you've added Gravenberch to it. If you are going to force him to play the 6, I don't think it will work out. But let's give Klopp the benefit of the doubt. If you can give Ten Hag and Mason Mount the benefit of the doubt, then you can clearly give somebody who has actually won the Premier League.
But you see, the situation they find themselves in is a product of, or is a consequence of their stubbornness and trusting Klopp too much. What resulted in Michael Edwards leaving was essentially because at a point the club stopped listening to him.
Yeah.
So the entire recruitment structure they built had Michael Edwards exercising oversight over Klopp. So he vetoed the move for Julian Brandt and insisted on Mo Salah, right? So over time, he proved himself someone who, when he says...
He knew what he was doing.
Since he left, pay attention to the signings that Liverpool have made in the last 18 months. How many of them have hit the ground running? So unfortunately, there is no longer that hierarchy that can forecast the needs of the team and then scout and find the right profile of players at the right value. Now, the advantage Liverpool had for their success was that when they scout early, they're able to initiate contact very early, do the groundwork, convince the player, and sell a sporting project to the player. That is the advantage that so before you come in with your money, they've already turned the player's head, and he's already settled on Liverpool. Yeah. Unfortunately, that advantage is gone. That is why it looks like, as Scranton explained, they've gone to sign 2 attacking midfielders, and the holding midfield role, which was painfully obvious last season, now appears to be an afterthought.
Yeah. At the end, though,
because it does not look like there is a list in place that they are working with.
Another painful question that has to be answered, Gary, if not, we'll skip it. Somebody said Barcelona have won this transfer window. And what Joao Felix brings to the team. Danny, you did a whole expose, let me put it that way, on the Barcelona team and why they struggled in Europe, in particularly last season. You look at the business they've done this season, they're still playing in the Champions League as champions of Spain. Did you see them doing better than last season? Have they solved any of the problems with the players they brought in?
Will they do better than last season as in not drop out of the group stages? Yes, because they have a very favorable group. But some of their transfer business has been funny for me, like the last day deal bringing in Joao Felix. Joao Felix he's a very interesting player. For the gifts that he has as an attacking player, he lacks the most important currency for an attacking player, and that is end product. No goals, no assists. So you ask yourself, what exactly is he doing? They've tried him in very different positions out wide. They've tried him behind the striker. They've tried him as a striker, as a false nine. He just doesn't have that instinct, that killer instinct as a player. And he seems to be very interested in entertaining instead of actually doing the job. So I'm really wondering how Xavi is going to mold him into that finished product. But again, if you look at Xavi's track record, you can tell that he knows exactly how he wants his team to play. He knows exactly the players to take them to the next level, or how he wants them to play, the players to bring out exactly what he wants them to do on the pitch. So then I'll be quiet on this one and just see what Xavi has in plan, because again, when somebody has a very good track record, you have to trust the person.
Right, so we still have Oscar on the line. Oscar, let's broaden this from the original topic as well. You're a player agent, right? Oscar, the question I would like to ask is, so coming off the back of Joao Felix and others, does it, in your experience, become Klopp? We have mentioned Klopp as well.
He's a Liverpool fan, so.
And you're a Liverpool fan, that's why I'm asking you.
No, I'm an Arsenal.
No, he's an Arsenal fan. I forgot.
Okay.
He's an Arsenal fan.
I see a lot of red on his timeline. I get confused.
Oscar, to what extent, as a player agent, do your decisions and wants and turning the player's head with money sometimes trump common sense when the team clearly needs a defensive midfielder, but they keep buying a number 8?
Well, Gary, look, it's really tough, and sometimes I feel for these teams because probably Liverpool or probably club himself have been looking around for a defensive midfielder and probably getting whatever he wants simply because of the agent factor and probably the player factor. I would digress a bit and go back to last year where Kunedi Adams deal to Hartlepool and the hula baloo about it, and even on deadline day, we just have to find a way to bring the player back to Accra Hartlepool. Whereas we had a meeting with Master Sante Kodoko, even as late as 11 p.m. And at the last moment, we just have to talk to the player and tell him, look, we believe that this is what will help you in the near future, maybe with your national team call-up, with your move abroad in future and all that. We feel that probably going to Accra Hartlepool would suit you better. So, and of course, that financial bit comes to play. So it is really tough out there when you are a player agent or probably a coach who wants your target, and the agent might be also looking at his benefit from the other side. So it makes it very, very difficult and tough for coaches. So sometimes when I read through the portals and a lot of WhatsApp groups, and maybe supporters or fans of various clubs are agitating and saying that, but why can't we get these players? Other teams are getting these players, and why can't our coach or probably our technical team get these sort of players for us? It is not as easy as it is. Look, as we speak, I'm still in the office and trying to make some deals happen and trying to move some players. And you quite rightly asked me that you saw me in a picture with a player to Olympus. Now that we've lost that valuable player, he's actually our icon. I need to find a way and replace him before the window shuts Friday. So it is a really tough situation when you see coaches trying to find their target but not landing them or getting the deals.
So Oscar, let me ask you a direct question. There's been a long-held accusation that agents and coaches, for want of a better word, work in cahoots. They connive to get players into teams that you are laughing. I've not even finished asking the question and the man is laughing. That coaches or teams don't need. So that's the direct question I'm asking. Like in the Liverpool situation, we've enumerated Mason Mount. He was not exactly what Man United, and it was painfully obvious. Arsenal didn't need a player in the profile of Kai Havertz. And now we've seen Liverpool clearly needed a certain player, but they brought in Gravenberch. To what extent of course, it's not a European transfer, but the principles are the same. And that's what I want to ask, if there's any education for our viewers as a last question.
Look, I have to be very careful here because, we are still in the business. And yes, of course, I, as an agent, need to convince the coach.
No, let me just break it down. As for you are there to sell your player, that's all.
Yes, but look, I need to convince the coach and tell him, yes, you need player who is in this kind of category, but look, I have a player who fits that profile in a certain way. So I'll try as much as I can to convince the coach to, get my player. So sometimes it is not, maybe it's a very delicate situation you find yourself in, because probably the coach wants a proper DM. But I feel that maybe if I bring a central midfielder who could be, shifted to a bit of a defensive way, the coach might buy into my idea. I need to convince the coach. So sometimes that is how it works. So it is not, I know where you are coming from. And I know sometimes they will say it is, there is an underhand dealings here and there. Maybe the coach might have compromised with the agent to bring in a certain player. And obviously the club, the supporters obviously know that, look, this is not the kind of player we want. But the coach, brought in a different profile. But he would try to fix the player into that position. So it is now based on the coach to buy into my idea and probably the philosophy that I want to, play with. So that is how I say it. We blame the coaches too much. Sometimes the market is so choked. They are looking elsewhere for these sort of players, and maybe they don't have the budget for it. They have to manage and find a player who could suit that position. In terms of Kai, Gavin Batch now, I seriously think that maybe the manager wants to play in a certain way and might not find, the sort of player who fits the kind of position that they want, but they can probably use him as a backup or a strict way to, suit the sort of way he wants to play. So It is not about, managers and agents conniving here and there. No, not at all.
Oscar, thank you very much for your time. We are looking at, and if today we didn't have the Ghana Premier League transfer window extended to the September 8th, I'm sure we'll ask you later how that has affected your business.
Before I go, I think that the FA extending the window is a right call. It's a step in the right direction because look, a lot of things go on here in Ghana when you are trying to bring in a player or you're trying to sell a player. It is not as swift.
I don't doubt that. Oscar, we don't doubt that. We are saying that for you as an agent, let me ask a direct question.
Don't do it the day before.
I mean, they said it will, but how does it not affect all the stakeholders? Maybe for you agents it doesn't, but the football chain is so wide, it's so big.
In fact, Stephen Amos is watching us from the US.
Yeah,
He says you should stop worrying your head over GFA matters. Also, I got a message, and this is not the first one. I'm sure you've seen a lot of those messages from Benghazi, Benjamin Yemwa, who happens to be a Barca fan. Yeah. And he says, why are we not talking about Barcelona, who are the winners of this window? I threw Daniel the question. He focused a bit more on Joao Felix. So I just want us to do this and find out what exactly Barca have done that the Barca fans are so desperate for us to talk about them. So this window, Barca have brought in Oriol Romeu, Joao Cancelo, Joao Felix, Vitor Roque, Inigo Martinez, Ilkay Gundogan, Clement Lenglet is back after his loan spell at Tottenham Hotspur. These are the players they brought in. These are the ones they've shipped out. Trincao, Nico Gonzalez, Frank Kessie, Ousmane Dembele, Fabio Blanco, Ansu Fati is going to Brighton on loan. Lenglet is now going to Aston Villa on loan. Sergino Dest is going to PSG on loan. He wasn't even there last season. PSV, sorry. Alex Val, Jordi Alba is going to Inter Miami. Araujo is going to Las Palmas. Pablo Torre is going to Girona. Amal Tenes, Alex Collado, Shadi Riyad, Samuel Umtiti, Sergio Busquets, Elias Akomak, Victor Barbera, and then Garcia, whose name is not in the list.
Yeah.
What's so crazy about this transfer window, Ashu?
It's not.
There isn't.
We have to do that in literally 1 minute because
there isn't.
They said they've won the window.
See, the reason a lot of people are not moved is where does these transfers take them, right? Because if you are talking about La Liga, they win it literally every year. What would move the needle is if their transfer activities suggest strengthening the team to usurp 4 or 5 places.
You don't think he's done that?
No, because if you talk about what will be significant is perhaps making the Champions League quarters. I think that will still take some work for this team.
Yeah. I believe that. So guys, Fent, if you could kindly go to the homepage and so that we see how many deals have been done and we close the way we have 3 minutes. Yes, the way we started. When we started, it was 1,377 moves.
Yes.
1,377. Let's see how. There we go, friends. What we got there?
1,400.
Incredible. And we've been here for just 2 hours and coins.
Yeah, and an additional 100 plus human beings have been sold. With almost, I think, 200 million added. So 5.5 billion spent this window alone.
Right.
There's a lot.
So what are the latest? I mean, the latest.
Well,
transfers?
if you go to most recent transfers, so Jeff Hendricks, Newcastle United to Sheffield Wednesday, Bremen Johnson, Nottingham Forest to Tottenham Hotspur, Bella Kuchap has finally made a move.
Sure.
But he's not gone to Bayern Munich. He was supposed to. He's gone to PSV Eindhoven. Diogo Moreira, Chelsea to Lyon. He's a young player. Luis Marsh is going to Doncaster. Kelvin Yaboa,
Yep.
the nephew of
Yes.
Yagola.
Yeah.
Okay. He's gone from Genoa to Montpellier in the French League 1. It's mentioned there, Tony Yaboa. That's Tony Yaboa's nephew. Albert Samuel Okonga, Arsenal to Luton Town. We talked about that. Odriozola at some point was indisplaceable in left back. He's also made a move to Real Sociedad. Alex Sola to Alaves, Terence Kangolo, and the list goes on. Amrabat's deal is also now been included, of course. So, that's the latest deal.
We have tried our best to look at the length and breadth of the transfer moves. We didn't mention Messi, of course, because we know all how it's gone so far. Thank you to Victor Achutamaklo for coming on as a super sub. He's been absolutely wonderful and giving us a golazo late goal as well. Ishmelado. Danny Cranton, who's been giving us some apt analysis. Fento on the ones and twos on the numbers, and also our co-host as well. Musbao Razak, as well as our production team at the back who have been making everything happen. Thank you for joining us on Deadline Day on social media and also on myjoyonline.com. I'm Gary Al Smith. From all of us, the entire production team.
See ya.